What's been the story of the week? Well, it's got to be Davos, Switzerland, and the World Economic Forum, up to their usual tricks. But I think we have reason for optimism. The real surprise for me this week, and if you haven't seen it, watch the whole speech from the new president of Argentina, Javier Milei. Fantastic speech. I've got just a portion of it I want you to listen to because you're going to say, he said that at the WEF conference in Davos, Switzerland. How come they didn't yank him off the stage? Well, obviously they're worried that people would notice that kind of censorship. They're doing their best this time around to appear like they will broke some criticism. But of course, behind closed doors, they're at it as usual. And so let's listen to this, and I'll comment when he's finished because this is fantastic.
Free trade capitalism, it is to be seen that the world is now living its best moment. Never in all of mankind's or humanity's history has there been a time of more prosperity than today. This is true for all. The world of today has more freedom, is rich, is more peaceful and prosperous. And this is particularly true for countries that have more freedom and have economic freedom and respect the property rights of individuals, because countries that have more freedom are 12 times richer than those that are repressed, and the lowest decile in terms of distribution in free countries are better off than 90% of the population of repressed countries, and poverty is 25 times lower, and extreme poverty is 50 times lower. And citizens in free countries live 25% longer than citizens in repressed countries. Now, what is it that we mean when we talk about libertarianism? And let me quote the words of the greatest authority on freedom in Argentina, Professor Alberto Venegas Lech Jr., who says that libertarianism is the unrestricted respect for the life project of others, based on the principle of non-aggression, in defense of the right to life, liberty and property. Its fundamental institutions being private property, markets free from state intervention, free competition, the division of labor, and social cooperation, as part of which success is achieved only by serving others with goods of better quality or at a better price. In other words, capitalists, successful business people are social benefactors who, far from appropriating the wealth of others, contribute to the general well-being. Ultimately, a successful entrepreneur is a hero. And this is the model that we are advocating for the Argentina of the future, a model based on the fundamental principles of libertarianism, the defense of life, of freedom, and of property. I say that the West is endangered. And I say this precisely because in those of our countries that should defend the values of the free market, private property, and the other institutions of libertarianism, sectors of the political and economic establishment, some due to mistakes in their theoretical framework and others due to a greed for power, are undermining the foundations of libertarianism, opening up the door to socialism and potentially condemning us to poverty, misery and stagnation. It should never be forgotten that socialism is always and everywhere an impoverishing phenomenon that has failed in all countries where it's been tried out. It's been a failure economically, socially, culturally, and it also murdered over 100 million human beings.
Murdered 100 million human beings. Socialism, Marxism, communism, Bolshevism, whatever you want to call it, collectivism. We've talked about this here before. The decision we have between collectivism and slavery, and a free market and a free mind and freedom. It's a clear choice. It's been delineated by philosophers throughout the ages, and it has been defined by some politicians. But here we have a politician, a president of Argentina. This man is the Maxime Bernier of Latin America. Here he is talking about libertarian and capitalist ideas. He calls capitalism a morally superior system than collectivism because it made people wealthy. And it raised the living standard of the vast majority of the population of the world, of the globe. These globalists love to talk about globalism in the globe and the world, but they don't want to give capitalism credit for improving the standard of living and admitting that socialism has been a failure everywhere it's been tried. And it will continue to be a failure because it doesn't work. But 3 cheers for this. I don't know who invited him. I'm sure they're saying, how did this man get on the stage? And because he actually, without mentioning the World Economic Forum by name, he talks about globalist entities that are working towards collectivism and want to enslave the world. I'm very surprised he got to say that, but he's dead on. And this is another sign that this authoritarian group calling itself the World Economic Forum is cracking. The foundation is not stable because it's not built on a solid foundation of human rights and freedom. It's built on the very unstable foundation of socialism, collectivism, and equity, which doesn't mean equality. It means special status for some. It means some people get human rights and other people don't. It's a collectivization of rights. That's what equity is. And that's what the World Economic Forum is based on. And that will never prosper. So thank God for that speech. Thank God he had the guts to stand up and say that at Davos. So that to me suggests it ain't working. And there's governments throughout Europe that have fallen and are not heeding the globalist agenda. Klaus Schwab bragged about how he's penetrated the cabinets of the world.
That we penetrate the cabinets.
Including Canada's with Justin Trudeau. He's an acolyte.
Hi, this is David Krayden from Krayden's Right and Stand on Guard. Join the resistance. Resolve to resist. Become a member of this station. I've been practicing journalism in one form or another for over 30 years. I've worked in print, radio, and television for a lot of prestigious publications and media outlets. I was an Armed Forces Public Affairs officer. I worked on Parliament Hill. I know how Ottawa works, and I know how corrupt federal government can be. But you can play a part in opposing Justin Trudeau's government and Justin Trudeau's plans for Canada. You can become a part of the Krayden's Right resistance. Now, I urge you today, please support this station in any way you can. Ring that bell, subscribe, because that ensures you're at least going to continue to be able to watch these episodes. You'll beat the algorithm. But more importantly, I need your financial support. I hate to ask, but that's what I'm doing. I made a decision to pursue independent media because I believed it was the best possible route for me to take as a journalist and as a concerned citizen of Canada. So you can become a part of that. And at only $5, you can become a part of that on YouTube, on Substack, and with Buy Me a Coffee, a one-time donation. But I need your support. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank you. If you've already done that, if you're already supporting the station, thank you. But if you haven't, make that decision today.